see. What can we do?
Hey, yeah. Good news, y'all be Push the Kid. Good news gang. We got this. Check. Murder. Let the kickstand flourish. Yep. Eardrums bleeding. Sorry to the Jacksons, no pappy. Let the kickstand flourish. Yep. Eardrums bleeding. Sorry to the Jacksons, no pappy. I beat it. And as far as this rapping, what these young dudes eating. Evil to the core in the form of a fetus. Grace through faith by the blood, all needed. So I'm thankful to the chef. Homeboy is game season. Yep. Game meaning as long as I'm breathing. I crawl in the casket, kill myself. I need it. I know it seemed backwards. Hairline receding. Seeking for the face of my wife, he can't see it. Young guapo, sinning since a snot nose. Product of the Protestants, popping with the vatos. Spitters, we got those. Providence from Pops though. Bass B booming with the tulip, can't stop growth. And that dawn coming soon, we can't stop hope. Cool kids, yeah, this good news be the motto.
Hey yo, my mind in the heavens, cooling with my brethren, feeling like a veteran in love with it. Yo, my mind in the heavens, cooling with my brethren, feeling like a veteran in love with his weapon. Ready for Armageddon, man, that cannon bang a blessing. It's 187 on my flesh like a death wish. Fresher than the rest is, doctrine be progressive. Good news gang, the guys you should invest in. Tulip on my tulips, blooming while that boom hits. No waka flocka, but oh, let's do it. Oh, let's do it. Zoo crew, the movement with godly music. We do influence, cooler than the cool kids. Flow so therapeutic. Call it what you want, we creatively confusing.
Really poppin', baby, they said that I was crazy. You know I'm from that Lone Star State like Patrick's. Really poppin', baby, they said that I was crazy. You know I'm from that Lone Star State like Patrick Swayze. Never was it in the dirty dancing, just financing, but making bread advancing. Yeah, thinking how to get it with the Falcon fitted. Had to tell that broad bye for being uncommitted. Stuck to the brethren, got backstabbed. I couldn't tell you how many times I got jabbed. Too many times, pain in my rhymes. So many thoughts of murder, it should be a crime. Then doctrines of grace slapped me in the face. Christ's works on the cross was my birthplace. Called a new creation, regeneration. Good news gang, I ain't preach the gospel to the nations. If you can dig it, come and join the team. Got the game scene doper than a coke fiend.
Searching for something to get us through. When the only answer's right in front of you, it's right in front of me. They hung 'em on a tree, the sun rose at 3, claiming the victory. Emotionally, I've been going through it. When the pain rains, storm clouds never moving. Gray days, dark nights, they consume me. Temptation whispering what will soon be. Like Satan got my room key, strolling into and fro like he my roomie. To confuse me, leave me bewildered, abuse me, presuming.
Yeah. Say lock. Good news.
As you see, my Jedi power.
Malak, check. That will end beam. Keep me safe. The shade is underneath the tree. Popeye like his right eye. Y'all ain't seeing me. Eyes wide open. Figured I should be focused. Retina paint the perfect picture. Sharper image. Cue the senses. Perspective on these dilated people seem connected to the lesson learned from the one who reads the scripture's message. A reflection of the light that is studied made the pupil and the shadow of her silhouette. Now it's his refusal. No longer deceived by
divided wolf and sheep, I see the difference. The body beating and his blood leaking gave me senses. In addition, made the gap with God and man non-existent. Separate my sin in a position you can count the distance. And as you listen, pray the glory of the sovereign glisten, shining through your buds as this dud rides the instrumental. Quick sketch on my pad, expression of my feelings. Open ear, see what the pencil of this art has written. Open your eye like the clear sky and see light, sight that clears lies. He clears lies. Open your eye like the clear sky and see Jesus. Will you open up these blind eyes? Open your eye like the clear sky and see light, sight that clears lies. He clears lies. Open your eye like the clear sky and see Jesus. Will you open up these blind eyes?
Swear that life, lightsaber, just call it hope. Piercing through joint and marrow like arrows hitting his goal. Avoid non-return, on duty, call it the truth. If the truth will set you free, I'm leaving shackles in this boot. Let freedom ring, no bell tower, just God worship. Let every ear adhere and then retain focus. Hocus pocus, I'm giving vision. Optometrist, please admonish the vision. Giving is well beyond astonishing. Common sense ain't so common when common people condom. Twisted living, the bridge we building the condiments. Viewing the bell till it's vintage. Album controls and outcomes. Jesus the Redeemer, we're moving traces of Reaper.
I know Will Cater, bro. I know Will Cater. I gotta get a record in with him soon. You know I engineer like half of the CHH community.
Will you open up these blind eyes?
We're gonna get started soon, people. Real soon. Appreciate y'all tuning in. What up, Joel? What up, Sense?
Don't you know that I can die for this thing here? Don't you know that I can die for this thing here? G&G, homie J-O-E, we a squad, yeah, we a team. Just a band of brothers making symphonies. Bang the bass and let the speakers bleed.
Don't you know that I can die for this thing here? Jesus over everything, let's make it clear. We're click, homie, get it straight. Go for gold, running out the gate. Jesus freaks, tell me who relate. Game season, so no time to wait. No time to waste, no time to waste. I got that cannon posted on cyber waist. Homie ain't heard the gospel. Looks like wine band might catch a case. Throw me in cuffs, DIYG. Always been down since 903. Down for the members of G&G. And best believe I rap for J-O-E. That's the team, fam, we're a squad. I put my brothers over any broad. Keep it real, partner, anti-fraud. Good news gang, we ride for God. Plugging that ox at the good news bang. Got in control, but taking up 4 lanes. I promise that we're still sane. Even though the bass banging that trunk got the frame. Hey, yo, get this, we misfits to the grave. Never change, go against the grain. Wrecking ball, God be the crane. Destroying idols as a crane swing. Bump the shine, boy, bump the fame. Microphone tonight.
Ain't nobody touching them Texas boys. Die for this thing here.
Don't you know that I can die for this thing here? G&G, homie J-O-E, we a squad, yeah, we a team. Just a band of brothers making symphonies. Bang the bass and let the speakers bleed. Pull up the gas and light up the fire. We spreading this message and we aren't caring about what you conspire. I do not need Dro, my high comes from heaven and he's my supplier. Your soul has been purchased, the price that was highest, and guess who's the buyer? It's not who we are, and it's not what we do. Think that he died on the cross for yourself, and just for a few? The reality is Christ suffered and rose, he set free the whole crew. On top of it all, it's not you who meets him, he will meet you. That's true. My old self is gone, no desires have left, I'm a brand new creation.
Alright, let's get it cracking.
Just pick up your Bible, please read Revelation. The heat is turned up, and the furnace is blazing.
I'm not from Texas. I grew up in Texas for a little bit, but these are my boys from Texas.
Never ending salvation.
This is vintage Texas right here.
No self-preservation. He met me, he'll meet you just right where you are. I implore you, embrace him. I'm no longer destined to darkness, so forever I praise him. Okay, don't you know that I can die for this?
All right, guys. Starting soon. We're going to go one more record, and then we're going to get it cracking. Get all your questions ready. We got a new Wheel of Fragrance cracking. We're answering all questions tonight, giving all tricks and tips on the road to 1,000 subs. We are going to get there this week. I guarantee you. Where is my joint? Oh, this joint goes hard. Okay. This is real Texas right here. This is a beautiful song to transition into the stream.
I'm telling Miss Patty Cake, I'm trying to be your baker's man. Pound cake, whipped cream, wanting all of it underhand. All seem plenty fun to the money spent, but they say that they bought it, they fall all 10 pins. I hear the cliche, glorify what we say. Hard body rappers, they all moving the freeway. No tango or pace so high, bitter the sweet taste. I know it too well, and this well is deep and dark, and so limited is the free space. Close and lock the briefcase, and the case closed, so I'm needy for the green face. Fight to find some pleasure in army color presidents, grabbing at the wind and death for crisis where the treasure is. It really seemed that money running things running to the money. I just see Geppetto strings, cream of the crop, get it, crop produce from the money trees, all green, no fruit, tall tale, 6 feet deeper for the gold roots. It's much more to this gold noose. I mean, cause of cash rules everything around me, and it should be king, right? So tell me where the crown be, nigga.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Who was that? Who was that? Not Josh. Who was that? Rod. Rod smoked that track. Good grief. I would play y'all my version, but the server was shut down. Okay. What up, everybody? What up, Mo? What up, Ben? What up, Joe? What up, Sense? Welcome to the Scent Bubble, man. Tonight is just an open floor live. We're going live for 1 hour. I'm setting the timer right now. We are answering all fragrance questions with the in-between time, because it normally takes a second for people to roll in here and start getting the conversation of fragrance going. So while they're lighting that incense and getting it popping, we will be playing Wheel of Fragrance together. It's very simple. I spin the wheel. When it goes to a category, I will pull up on Fragrantica my choice for that category on the best fragrance for that situation. Sometimes these are situations. Sometimes this is a type of person. Sometimes this is just a random category where we'll have to select the best fragrance for that spin. As I'm thinking of the fragrance that I'm going to recommend, I open the floor up to the community. If you have a fragrance that you think is best for my wheel selection, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll pull it up on Fragrantica, etc. That will be what we use for our filler time. If questions aren't being asked, the in-between time, we will be spinning the wheel and having a good time. I got the timer set for 1 hour. This is the Scent Bubble, and let's get it cracking. Warm Weather Beast. I'm only picking fragrances from my collection. What is a Warm Weather Beast in my collection right now? Man, there's so many. I actually got to get up. Let's check. Thank you, mods. Thank you, mods. Throw him in a timeout for 10 minutes for being a ding-dong. All right. How do we remove... there we go. Hot weather, best warm weather beast. All right. I got my selection. Sound off in the chat. What is the best fragrance? Well, not the best necessarily, but give me a warm weather fragrance that is an absolute beast. I got mine right here. And not only is this a beast performance is not, I would say, beast mode, but it's right behind beast mode. So it's above average. This is a warm weather killer. It's from the house of Lalique. And what I'll say about this fragrance is a lot of people sleep on it because for some reason in FragCom, when we talk about popular fragrances in FragCom, this one always is not mentioned. And it's simply because people don't know about it. But had they known about it, this is easily one of the best fragrances in the entire Lalique line. This is Lalique's Equus. E-Q-U-U-S. The Lalique line of fragrances, and there's many of them. I've seen about 15 so far. I'm sure there's more. But Lalique fragrances typically always have an inspired note of vetiver in them. Vetiver can be rendered in many different ways. Soapy, clean, earthy, inky, floral even. And the most famous fragrances from the Lalique line are the Encre Noir trio, that being Encre Noir Sport, and Encre Noir a la Extreme. Those are the most talked about Lalique fragrances. If you wind up liking the Lalique line as an enthusiast or as a fragrance consumer, you might eventually start looking into more Lalique fragrances, and you'll find things like Lalique White, Lalique Black and White, and Equus, and Lalique Pour Homme. Now, all of those fragrances have a highlighted note of vetiver in them, but they're rendered different ways. In Encre Noir, the vetiver is rendered as a black ink fragrance of death type of vibe, rainy day on black soil type of vetiver rendition, and vetiver is the star of the show. Then you move over to something like Encre Noir Sport, which has a vetiver note that is more sporty, more out of the shower, more green. It's got a highlighted note of grapefruit in there. So this grapefruit is kind of providing this slightly soapy clean, but more green, earthy take on vetiver. More natural, I would say. That's the more wearable of the three in terms of somebody blind by going into Lalique. And then lastly, you have a la Extreme, which people compare to like burnt pencil shavings. It's kind of got a burning wood by the fire, embery type of vibe. Picture yourself lighting a fire. You sit outside all night, and then the only thing left from the fire is hot, woody embers. That is kind of the smell of a la Extreme with a slight bit of freshness under it. When you move over to Lalique, however, what you get is something a lot more aromatic, a lot more fresh, and a lean on amber and citrus, which when you put that on the backdrop of woods and this kind of rooty, mossy vetiver, you get a similar vibe to fragrances like your Elysium, stuff like that. That's really just like citrus on woods, your Terre de Hermes, your Bulgari Tigar. You get kind of that vibe, but it's way more masculinized because it doesn't put an emphasis on the citrus. It puts the emphasis on the vetiver and the amber. So it puts a lot more age to the fragrance and a lot more sophistication. So it doesn't just feel like an out of the shower scent. You can dress this up to be formal, semi-formal, or fresh casual. This is an incredible fragrance. You can get it for about $20, $25 online for 100 ml. And to me, so far, out of the entire Lalique line, and I have put my nose to about 8 fragrances so far, I find Equus to be the most versatile, best DNA, any season, any reason, ageless, best formulation, best projection. Might not be the best longevity out of the bunch, but you could easily get a solid 6 hours of performance. And I quite personally when you take in the fact that a lot of fragrances, you're going to get your best projection in the first hour or two, I do actually like to reapply this fragrance in the afternoon just to get that vibrancy back into the fragrance where you're getting that amber and that citrus ringing off the top of the fragrance. So I don't mind having to reapply this fragrance, and it is absolutely spectacular. So for my wheel pick for Warm Weather Beast, Lalique Pour Homme, specifically Ecousse for men, is going to be an absolute killer. For those of you who have never seen the notes before, we have bergamot, lemon, and citron up top, juniper, cardamom, violet leaf, nutmeg, Brazilian redwood, and mace in the mid. And in the base, we got that sequoia, vetiver, leather, benzoin, amyris, and musk. This is an absolute banger. Trust me. For $20, $25, this will compete with just about anything south of the $120 price point in your local retailer. And it is an absolute killer. I can wear Ecousse every day of the week without even thinking twice. In the chat, I see we have a few. Offnon Collector's Edition, I think you're just speaking about that. So I'll definitely check into that. Offnon Highness Blue. Joel, how many recommendations? Let's just look into this Lattafa, because that's the only one I haven't heard of. Let's see if Fragrantica actually features it. I have seen this fragrance, actually. I haven't smelled it yet, though. Looks decent. Looks decent. Aqua de Jean Perfume. Are you speaking Spanish here? You are. Okay, let's move on. Any questions on fragrance? Feel free to put it in the chat. We're answering questions, but we're also spinning the wheel in the downtime. The Ask Her Out fragrance. Okay, so this is a situation where you have a girl you got your eyes on, and you're going to be asking her out on a date. I have a couple of options, but for me, my mind is thinking, matter of fact, let me go grab my fragrance real quick. You guys figure out what's your Ask Her Out fragrance. Okay, I'm gonna play it safe, guys. Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking, "Oh, I wanna have a lot of signature," but let me tell you my mindset. When I ask somebody out, and I don't need to ask anybody out. I've been with my wife 15, 16 years, but if I was approaching my wife back in the day, this is how I would have did it. If you're approaching a girl to ask her out on a date, I don't care if you've been hanging out with her for a little while and you're kind of teeing it up and you lead into it after a couple weeks or a couple days, or you're just fresh off of the first meet with this person and you're asking her out and you're shooting from the hip. I'm playing it safe. I want to be above average. I want to be clean and presentable. That's it. I don't want a signature scent on for round one, because then you're setting a standard that if you go with a fresh casual or a freshie with charm, you're downgrading from that signature moment. So I'm going to tee up a fragrance that's slightly above average that will allow me, when I actually go on the date, to then start ramping up and taking her on a nose journey that's going to be a lot more signature once I actually get the female to myself. So with that being said, I'm going to pick the most popular fragrance of all time, one of the highest sold of all time, and that's none other than Versace Eros. Now, I'm not picking EDT, which is the most popular. EDT is the most popular, but since I'm an older male, I'm rocking with Parfum. I think Parfum is where the sophistication is at, and that's where I think it takes it above average. I'm going with a nice, clean, fresh, slightly sweet fragrance. And this one's an absolute banger. I'm playing it safe. This is above average. It's widely mass appealing. And by going with the Parfum, you're going to get a little more sophistication. No female is going to say no to a date if you're wearing Versace Eros Parfum. That is just baseline, good entry point, sitting above average, and you tee yourself up nice to go more signature on the actual date. Let's look at the notes. You have mint, lemon, black pepper, elemi resin, Litsea, green, and in the heart you have green apple, geranium, lavender, sage, pomerose, and in the base you have tonka bean, amber, vanilla, patchouli, and benzoin. This fragrance is the tiniest bit of mint, lemon, and apple that really pairs together, but the freshness is really ramped up via geranium, lavender, and sage. And then the backdrop, which is about, I would say, 40 to 50% of this fragrance, is that tonka bean, amber, vanilla vibe, which almost appears tropical a bit. In a fragrance like this, it almost goes into Jean-Paul Gaultier territory, but it's dialed back so well, in my opinion, especially the Parfum. And Versace Eros is just that staple. And when you talk about fragrances like Dior Sauvage Elixir and things like that, it's one of the more top 3 banger, no questions asked, the girl's going to say yes type of fragrances. So that's going to be my fragrance tee up. Let's go to the chat. I always go for more amber, Moresque, Soul Batik. Let's look that up. Can always count on Joel for something I haven't heard of. Cardamom, bergamot, incense, vanilla, amber, patchouli. This looks like my type of vibes just based off of incense alone. I like this. This looks like a good, nice, older, manly take. Probably going to be a 30 to 50 fragrance. But I'm here for it. I'm 36, so I'm all for it. This is Moresque Soul Batik, courtesy of Joel. And it looks like it's fairly average priced. You get it for $100. Okay. I'm all for it, Joel. Salty body wash. Okay. Issey Miyake. Cell di Issey. I hope this is the right one. Marine Aquatic on Woods. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I might have to put my nose to something like this. This looks very interesting. For how linear it is, I definitely would love to see what the combination of seaweed and sea salt does on that backdrop of ginger vetiver, because the ginger vetiver, cedar, oak moss kind of puts me in the realm of something like a Louis Vuitton, but that seaweed and sea salt kind of throws me in a Megamar type of vibe as well, so it'd be interesting to put my nose to that. Caribbean's just going to spray Axe, so he's probably going to have about a 20% chance of actually taking her on the date unless he's in high school, which will give him a pass. All right, let's move on. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. We're almost there. We're going to get there this week, I assure you.
Good note. Just a young lad trying to switch my status. The Lord did it. Fantastic. He's proactive. I pay the gas to the haters riding bandwagon. Banging ovation. Yeah, that bass clapping. Since grace happened. He did it, my God. Figures knocking my door locking photos.
Yacht Club. What are we going to do for Yacht Club, guys? Let me know what fragrance you're picking. I'm going back into the crates.
Dojo has got me humble, no mojo. Old me faded, no so glow. Yeah, I see her, she so. Sensei, I need your notes, go. I see these cuties, I won't go. Compliments to this boombox. Chubby ninja with the tube socks. 2 knocks, now we in here. Coolin' though like we been here. And I'm praying that my big get here. Soon though, cause I'm sitting here. On the grind, we getting there. Slow mo in the Oldsmobile. Listen, we jamming them oldies. Raven Hill over dope beats. And if it don't beat, don't play it. Homeboy, what the love is you saying? Saving ain't come by me. Grace from the Father by the Lamb that was beat. Hear my speech, cut my leash. Kill my sin, he set me free. My team be bearded, it's staining these tracks and smearing it. Good news, the gospel, I pray you hearing it.
This is my left field pick for Yacht Club. You know, if we're going cheapies, we can obviously go with something like a Club D Nui Milestone or something like that. Get that ambery watermelon type of vibe. But I'm going to go left field here, and I'm going to tell you why. So, obviously, we went with Ministry of Oud Satin, which is basically a knockoff of Maison Francis Kirkjohn's Oud Satin Mood. But here's my thinking on this. Normally, Oud Satin Mood is going to be a cold weather fragrance, but for me, I think this fragrance is so beast mode that it really needs to aerate. So if I'm on a yacht and I'm sitting on the balcony or on the outside of the boat, right, on the deck, I'm going to want a fragrance that is beast mode, and then aeration just allows people to get wafts of it. So I actually think a fragrance like Oud Satin Mood would best suit something where there's heavy aeration, such as a yacht. If I'm on a boat, that rose vanilla oud is going to be wafting every single direction, 360 degrees. And I actually haven't worn Oud Satin on a yacht. I normally go for different fragrances for the boat, but I'm actually really curious to see what that oud rose vanilla combo does, that violet leaf as well, with a high heavy aeration. I think it'll knock it back just perfectly. So my selection is Ministry of Oud Satin, which you can get for about $25-30 for 100 ml, and it is to me about a 95% accurate rendition of Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. Or you can obviously go with Oud Satin Mood as well. See, here's my issue, man. If you're a guy who pairs fragrances for situations perfectly, 9 times out of 10, you're going to smell like something everybody else has on. So for instance, if you go on a yacht, everybody on the yacht has money, right? So this is the fragrance I would expect you to have if you were on a yacht. Anything from Louis Vuitton, you know, Imagination, L'Immensité, anything ginger, citrus, anything ambery. And I don't want to smell like everybody else. I'm going to go left. So when I go on the yacht, I'm not going to smell, I'm not going to wear a fragrance that smells like something that I think I should wear on water, per se. I'm going to go for something a little left field because I know everybody on that boat is going to smell like amber and citrus on woods. And that's just the way I take it. So I'll know 100% that if I'm wearing something like Oud Satin Mood or Oud Satin, nobody is going to smell like Oud Rose Powdery Vanilla Violet. Point blank, period. Okay, what do we got? Aqua di Gio, you know, that's safe. You know what I'm saying? I think you might get a lot of wear power if you rock something like a Profumo. But Profumo, the inscent might kind of get destroyed by the aeration. Axe is definitely not going to survive on a boat. The axe will probably melt right off of you before you even get on the deck. Lattafa Kingdom. Yeah, I've seen Lattafa Kingdom quite a bit. I've just been waiting to get that good price, because I've seen people paying upwards of $40 to $60 for it. So I'm cool on that for right now. I've seen it on TikTok Shop as low as $35, but I'm looking to snag it for like $25. Bro, I ain't even got friends online. Only yacht I'm going to be on is next Titanic free ride. Not only to the next county, but the heaven. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. If you're not on the yacht, you can rock the fragrance on the beach, man. It's going to be the same kind of fragrance. You might be a little more casual on the beach than the yacht, but, you know, get you a paddle boat. It'll be all right. Yeah, that's a good price if you got it for $25 on Fragrance Buy. That's fair. Definitely a fair price. All right, we're going to move along. Next fragrance. Oh, we need to hide the choice. That's what I need to do. That was the setting I was looking for.
Bars, we weirded it, doctrine sharper than pyramids. Outcast society getting put out like cigarettes.
Take care, Joel. Appreciate your participation always, brother. I appreciate you.
Good news, the gospel, I pray you hearing it. Bars, we weirded it, doctrine sharper than pyramids. Outcast society getting put out like cigarettes. Okay, I'm just a little bit weird, bro. The girls love my beard growth. That's what it does. I'm tatted up.
Sillage Assassin. Okay, so we got two elements here. It's got to have sillage, but it's got to be an absolute killer too. Let me go look at my collection. Sound off in the comments, guys. What up, William? What up, Santana? What up, Anteo?
We own it. Second place, we want it. Got Jesus first, we go berserk. Straight murk every opponent. So who want it? Artists tell me who want it. Got that bargain jargon, straight awkward, awesome in the misfit markets. Our target, what? We don't. Coca-Cola, no joke. No Barbie party, I don't need a shorty, cause my God loves me the most. Yo. My team be bearded, it's staining these tracks and smearing with good news, the gospel. I pray you hearing it. Bars, we weirded it, doctrine sharper than pyramids. Outcast society getting put out like cigarettes. My team be bearded, it's staining these tracks and smearing with good news.
All right, so I have two picks for Sillage Assassin. The first one is going to be Sillage Seduction, and we are going to go with none other than FOMO Gary's Den, which is a rendition of Dior Homme Parfum. Dusty Iris. This is a Sillage projection and longevity monster. 6 sprays will get you through the entire day. It'll stay on clothes. And man, when you don't want the creamy iris feel, you want it to be more fresh, more dusted. I'm telling you, Gary's Den, man, it is probably one of the best purchases I've made all year, which I think I've actually had this fragrance for about 2 years, but maybe 1 year. I think it actually might have been a 2023 late or early 2024 release. My second option is going to be more masculine, and it's going to be none other than Jimmy Choo's Man. Now, when I think of this fragrance, and I'm actually going to spray this on a test strip here. Jimmy Choo Man is almost in a similar vein as YSL L'Homme. You know, just a bomb of various notes. Jimmy Choo Man is insane. That melon lavender suede combo is killer. I really think that when you combine fruit, floral, and leather, something special can really happen. And the first instance of this that I came across was Ganymede, where you have suede, violet leaf, and mineral notes. This is a similar pairing, but an entirely different DNA. So you're smelling something completely different. Suede, lavender, and melon. You get a little bit of pineapple leaf, but it's mostly cantaloupe, melon, lavender, and suede. The pepper and patchouli really work together in the background, kind of overcoating this earthy, slightly peppery masculinity to it. But the suede, melon, and lavender are really the signature notes here. And this is one of the smoothest, hyper masculine, but yet still has that undercurrent of sweet seduction. But it's more hyper masculine. So if you think about a Dior Sauvage Elixir or something like that, to me, this puts a little bit more hair on your chest as feeling more manly. So this is for all my people who would say, you know what, I'm not quite an Iris fan. When we talk about Iris fragrances, you really have to be a fan of Iris, and not everybody is. So unfortunately, unless you're an Iris, you know, a lot of people feel like the Iris note just leans things too feminine, and I completely understand that because it absolutely does. However, certain men like to have a playfulness of feminine accents when it comes to fragrances because it does something different on a man than it would with a woman. I always equivalate it to a man rocking like a light pink collared shirt or like a pastel color as opposed to something like a black or navy blue or a red. This is a man that's so comfortable in his skin that he can actually start to get playful, and then those fragrances do something different. So if you want to have that kind of unique, kind of unisex play, go with Gary's Den. If you want a more masculine, robust edge but still have that seduction factor, go with Jimmy Choo Man Regular, not Jimmy Choo Man Intense. Absolute banger. Gary's Den you can get for about $25, 100 ml large bottle. Jimmy Choo Man you can get large bottle for about anywhere between 60 to 80 bucks for 100 ml. The Jimmy Choo Man 50 ml probably runs about 30 at like TJ Maxx and stuff. Sillage Assassin can really be anything you want it to be, but when I roll for it, typically I'm thinking of a fragrance that has both a sillage to it, but it's also a killer. Not just a fragrance that carries sillage, but one that when the sillage is behind you, it is turning heads. That's when I think about an assassin, a killer. So it's got to be hanging off of you and projecting everywhere and grabbing attention in a pleasing way. It can be seduction. It could be just general attention, some type of serious head-turning factor. So sillage is a part of it, but you can have sillage and still smell like crap. Yeah, you know, Atlas is nuclear, but Angel Share to me is not that nuclear. Angel Share to me might be a 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of projection and longevity, comparatively to Atlas. All right, guys, office hours. Show me your office hours fragrance. Something you're wearing in the office. I don't care what type of job.
You see, the miracle of the new birth is this, that when a man is really born, when he gets this life, he doesn't want that life. Oh, I don't think anybody gives it better than Paul. To wind this up, writing to the Colossians.
You're listening to the sounds of Stockton Productions.
This the stuff that they need. This the stuff they don't want. This the stuff to take heed. Go on and let that trunk bump. Go on and let that trunk bump. This the stuff that they need. This the stuff they don't want. This the stuff to take heed. Go on and let that trunk bump. Go on and let that trunk bump.
All right. So my selection for the office, and this is what I'm thinking. I want a fragrance that has somewhat reserved projection, you know, less than 1 or 2 feet of projection. I don't want to be a sillage monster. I don't want beast mode. I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. If I'm in an office, I'm walking around, I'm at my desk. Fragrance will travel very quickly in an office because the office scent is so clean. So I want something where when people come into my vicinity, they're going to smell me, but I don't want something that's going to travel. So I want a fairly simplistic DNA, something like a citrus on woods, and that's why I went with Mont Blanc Starwalker Regular. So what do we have here with this fragrance? We have bamboo, bergamot, and orange up top. Those are very lightly blended. It probably only makes up about 20-30% of the fragrance. In the heart, we have sandalwood, white musk, and cedar. And then in the base, we have ginger, fir resin, nutmeg, and amber. This is a really clean fragrance, the tiniest bit of citrus. It's not citrus in the same vein as like Mercedes-Benz Intense, Bulgari Tiger, Elysium. It's not that projective and loud and unique. This is more clean, soapy citrus on an ambery wood base, and it doesn't have an insane amount of projection, but if you come into the vicinity, you will have this hyper masculine, fresh, clean, soapy citrus scent. To me, in this type of simple DNA, you can't really get much simpler than this, because at that point, the fragrance almost isn't even worth purchasing. But I find that Starwalker is just an incredible office fragrance to just be this clean-cut, masculine man who's not so loud that you're annoying. All right, let's go to the chat. We have Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. Okay, I respect it. I feel like, you know, limited edition is a little bit more toned down. It's a little less projective on the lemony pineapple experience. I still think it's a beast mode fragrance, you know. If regular Club de Nuit Intense Man is a 10, I feel like limited edition is like a 9 in terms of projection and longevity. I feel like that might travel across a room quite a bit. If you have your own office space and people have to walk inside of your office, maybe you might get away with it, but it's definitely the type of fragrance where when people are within 10 feet of you, they're going to smell that pineapple lemon right away. So that might be a little bit much for me, but hey, you know, if you work outdoors though, you know, you're in construction or something like that, or you work kind of at like a retail clothes store or something like that, it could definitely be a nice signature fragrance where it's okay to be loud and projective. Bulgari, I like Bulgari a lot as a choice. I think that's a good choice. Versace Pour Homme, that's definitely a clean fragrance. You know what I'm saying? We just reviewed that recently. Mont Blanc Legend EDP. Yeah, you know, I like it. That's definitely in the realm of projection that I'm thinking about. Azzaro Chrome is definitely a good choice as well. I think out of all of those, I might go with Azzaro Chrome. I feel like Versace Pour Homme isn't even worth the purchase price because it's so weak. Mont Blanc Legend has a little bit of a bitter bite to it that I'm not a big fan of. I think Starwalker outclasses it significantly in terms of smoothness of blend. Azzaro Chrome is really nice. I actually don't have anything bad to say about that. But Bulgari Man especially is an excellent choice for office. All right, guys, we got a couple more spins and then we're going to call it a night. I'm getting tired. Appreciate you guys participating in the chat. If you're new to the stream, make sure that you subscribe. We're on a road to 1,000 subs, which we're going to hit this week. All right, man, let's see your best fruit medley fragrance. Go in the crates for this one.
Is dead to the truth. They ain't better like what I spit in the booth. Never been cool with a fake hearted. Please beat up harder before things get started. Yeah, cause we've been about it, man. Right? Look around, ain't nothing changed. Put that on everything. Say you're Christian, but you're sitting on the wood. Words ain't matching what you're merging. Homie, what's good? Looking quite phony. Can't play God like a Sony. Christ like in my face. What you looking like when you're lonely? Lies fill a person up baloney. Macaroni stuffed in the cone. That's quite a bit of fears. Homie want beef, I got ribs, grab a beer. Got his truth, so he spit you out if you're fake, stepping on your toes for your own sake. Listen,
this the stuff that they need. This the stuff they don't want. This the stuff to take heed. Go on and let that trunk bump. Go on and let that trunk bump. This the stuff that they need. This the stuff that.
All right, this is my selection for fruit basket. This is a unisex fragrance, and you can get it right now at your local Burlington for about $16, $17 for a 100 ml large bottle. This is Lattafa Rams Gold. When we talk about fruit basket, you really can't compare it to this fragrance. Apple, peach, pear, black currant, sweet orange. Up top in the heart, we have jasmine, rose, and orange blossom to freshen up all of those fruits as if they weren't already fresh. And in the base, we have sandalwood, white musk, vanilla, and patchouli. You don't really get a lot of patchouli, but you definitely get that white musk, sandalwood, and vanilla as kind of this fresh vanillic bomb. But this fragrance is sweet, but it's not so loud in terms of like a Jean-Paul Gaultier type of fragrance, but it is still pretty loud. On the beast mode scale, it's probably about a 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of power. You definitely get sillage, projection, and longevity. This is a fragrance that will sit on your skin all day long after about 6 sprays. And I think for anybody who would say that Baccarat Rouge 540 is too fruity, this is in the same realm of a Baccarat Rouge, but it is much more toned down and warm. So I would say if you don't like how feminine-leaning Baccarat Rouge is, this is an incredible entry-level $16 fragrance that gets you in the door. And it definitely is a cologne. It's not going to be a fragrance that you feel like is like a fruity body mist for women. This I feel is perfectly unisex. I just think it's a great purchase for 16, 17 bucks, 100 ml. This will have a lot of head turning power on it. A lot of people say they pair it with different fragrances. I'm not a big fan of that. I think there's plenty of notes going on in here, but this is Lattafa Rams Gold label, not silver. Silver is, I believe, the Jean-Paul Gaultier Ultra Male clone or DNA inspiration, but this, you're going to get that fresh fruit basket feel, and you truly get a nice blend of all this. You don't get a distinct apple or distinct peach or pear. This is a perfect blend of kind of like a fruit basket combo, and I think it fits the theme perfectly. All right. We're going to do one more wheel spin, guys. I appreciate you guys in the chat. Thanks for interacting. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Last wheel spin of the night. Let's get it.
They don't want this the stuff to take heed. Go on and let that trunk bump. Go on and let that trunk bump. I rap for Christ, he gon' get it. I rap for Christ, he gon' get it.
Oh my gosh. All right, so Cigar Lounge, guys, give me your best fragrance for the Cigar Lounge. I'm going to dig into the crates for this one. I probably have one you guys ain't going to pick. Let's get it.
Let that trunk pop, tryna cop on my skis. Live this life of my pops. Knock it off, we won't stop till they know what we buy. Then they know what he buy. Some of them they live lies like they claim they're no good. Then they claim they're no God. Tell them boys that's no good. Some of us can't no mess with them guys. This is good news, spit truth, tell you, Soul J rockin' can't die. TDE in the whole industry, you not that compared to my guy. No pride, face my good news, face high, face all pop off. They side, my side, push hard, we grind. I just work for that dealer man. 50-hour plus tryna get ahead. Say grind hard for this feeling.
All right, guys. So when I think about the Cigar Lounge, you're obviously going to want something that complements tobacco. Tobacco is all in the room, so you almost have to treat it as if it's a part of the fragrance. What fragrance is going to go well with tobacco? And the first thing I think is sweet. Now, I would never recommend this fragrance for anything other than the Cigar Lounge because outside of that, it is extremely generic. But this fragrance, though it looks like a giant you-know-what, can I put it up on the camera? This is a fragrance you can get for $5 to $10. This is an eau de toilette, and it is Cuba Gold. It actually looks like a cigar. You know what I'm saying? It is a very sweet fragrance. Lavender, vanilla, aromatic. But what I love about this one is it's got a little bit of pink pepper, a little bit of grapefruit, and when you pair that with the lavender, vetiver, vanilla, amber combo, it just makes for the ultimate fragrance, and it pairs amazingly with tobacco. This is a fragrance that when smoke is in the air, it's going to absorb that smoke and spit out its own fragrance. It's not going to come alongside the smoke and become a whole new fragrance. This almost smells like a very sweet, rich pipe tobacco. It's not harsh, it's sweet, it's smooth, and it's dense. And for that reason, I think it'll be an excellent addition to your Cuban cigar lounge experience. This might be the best fragrance of the entire Cuba Gold line. I don't review Cuba Gold fragrances on this channel because most of them are absolute trash. But I think that this might be one of the rare circumstances where this is actually a perfect fragrance for the cigar lounge only. And I think it's criminally underrated in that regard. If you didn't go to a cigar lounge and you sprayed this on, people would think that you just got back from a cigar lounge. It doesn't have tobacco in it, but it almost feels like it has elements of tobacco in it. All right, guys. Maison Alhambra in the chat for Afro Leather. Maison Alhambra Afro Leather is a clone of Memo Paris's African Leather, which I think is criminally underrated. A lot of people overlook it for Carlisle, I believe. But I got to be honest, African Leather is an incredible zingy, zesty, hyper-masculine, animalic fragrance. And I think Maison Alhambra did an insane job at recreating it. I call it about a 9 out of 10 in terms of closeness to African Leather. And for $20, you really cannot beat a 100 ml bottle of it. In fact, I'm going to show it to you guys. Shout outs to Santana. That was an excellent choice. Let's see if they actually have it. Maison Alhambra Afro Leather. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those clones where they absolutely knocked it out of the park. Cardamom leather, geranium up top, patchouli, cumin, and vetiver in the mid, geranium, musk, agarwood, and bergamot. This is an absolutely incredible buy. Anyone should pick this up. It's a must-have for your collection if you don't own anything similar to Carlisle or African Leather by Memo Paris. It is an absolute banger. A lot of stopping power, a lot of projection and longevity, and for sure a signature fragrance. OG Spice Bomb would actually be an incredible fragrance for the cigar lounge. So I love that pick as well. I believe spices and sweet vanillic amber is going to pair well with that tobacco that you'd get in the room as well. If you're a fan of the knockoffs, you might get something like Odyssey Pour Homme Black Edition. That also is going to be nice. If you want to smell rich in a cigar lounge, I think something like Tom Ford Noir is going to be like the highest of high. Tom Ford Noir Extreme is going to be great too. But I like the original Tom Ford Noir. But Tom Ford Noir Extreme to me is kind of the more rich smelling Spice Bomb and Spice Bomb Extreme. But nonetheless, OG Spice Bomb is absolutely an incredible fragrance. So Tom Ford Noir Extreme, OG Spice Bomb Extreme, African Leather, I think all great choices for the cigar lounge. Yeah, I mean, on Amazon right now, Afro Leather, Maison. Yeah, Afro Leather is going for $20 on Amazon. So if you can get anything south of $20 at your retailers, it's going to be, you know, an average pickup. But definitely an incredible fragrance, super slept on, and not a lot of people talk about it. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me in the scent bubble. This is the important part, guys. Make sure that you like the video. You don't need to worry about commenting. Definitely subscribe, though. We're on a road to 1,000 subs. We're going to hit it this week, and I want you guys to be a part of it. I'm ramping up the content, so we're dropping every single day leading up to the 1,000 subs. And when the 1,000 subs get here, we're going to do a giveaway of 10 decants. I'm going to be giving away 10 decants of somebody can pick out of my 300 fragrances, and they will get 10 5 ml decants. So that means you will get 50 ml of anything from my entire collection. So it's going to be a massive giveaway. I appreciate all of my community. I haven't determined yet whether I'm going to give a 5 ml decant to 10 people or I'm going to give 10 decants to one lucky person. I kind of want everybody to win, so I might go 10 subscribers are going to win. But we'll see what we're going to do. I appreciate you guys all so much for rocking with me. This is the Scent Bubble. Make sure you have a blessed week. I'm going to be posting this live as soon as we're done. So if you missed any of the live, make sure you tune into the restream. And I love you guys to death, man. Have a blessed week. I'll talk to you all soon. Shout outs, Trey, Santana, Sense, William, Joel, Bling, Creature, Benyam, Mo, Marco. All you guys, thank you for interacting in the